Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the REC podcast, brought to you by REC Comics and Collectibles. I'm your host, Roman Chavez, and with me, as always,
Erik and Roman.
Eric,
what's up?
you can find us on the gram at REC Podcast. You can follow myself at Roman REC Podcast. You can follow the shop at REC Comics at 7679 North Union Boulevard in Colorado Springs. And you can follow this man.
Eric J. Wilden _ Esquire on the Instagram.
Yep, the bomb dude himself, guys. The bomb dude. I don't know why you're not Eric J. Bomb Dude, but that's fine.
You know what? I'm not committed to anything. I'm not married to anything.
All right,
so
all right.
That might be a thought.
Yeah, it might be a future change.
Yes.
How you doing this week, buddy?
Good, man. Just reeling.
Good, I know,
what,
man.
We went through this weekend.
Oh my gosh, man! We had a fantastic free comic book day.
It was great.
Your boys, Roman and Eric. We had quite the large attendance. I think more than either of us thought would be possible.
Yeah.
It was our first comic book day, free comic book day. So thank you guys so much for coming out. We had a lot of deals going on, a lot of free books being given out. A lot of oohs, a lot of ahs. And I just want to say thank you guys so much. Unfortunately, there was a damper about midday when I unknowingly announced the sad passing of one George Perez. I literally got the notification on my phone while I was at the register here, and I was like, oh my God, George Perez passed away. Yeah. And everybody in the shop's like, wait, what? And I was like, oh crap, keep spending. George would have wanted it this way. But yes, we knew that George had pancreatic cancer. It was announced, I believe, in November of last year, that he had some, he was having like a blockage removed from his liver. And then when they were in there, they found that he had a pretty severe case of pancreatic cancer. He had announced on his social medias that he would be allowing nature to take his course because he was just like, I'm going to spend all this time in the hospital and it may not work and this and that. So, George, left his mark on the industry. One of the all-time
classic covers, Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Yes.
I mean, that is one of the biggies, man.
Yep. All 12 issues penned by Marv Wolfman, drawn by George Perez, and I mean it's some of the most stunning DC art. Around.
Yeah, it's iconic. And then of course he did not all of Infinity Gauntlet. He did 1 through 3, and then I think part of issue 4.
Yeah.
But come on, those are like the best issues
Infinity
right there.
Gauntlet number 1. Infinity Gauntlet number 1 is one of my top 5 favorite covers of all time.
That was an icon.
Yeah, it's just so clean. Nobody's art looks like George Perez's, in my opinion. I don't think so.
It's coming on the heels of who did we just lose?
Neil Adams. I know.
It's it's a hell of a way to start off the year because we're just getting into the midway point.
We're getting into con season.
Yeah, and we're losing people.
George didn't hit as many cons up towards the end of his career due to health issues, but Neil was a force.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me. It's a real bummer to lose 2 Mount Rushmore-esque characters within 10, 12 days of each other. The community is reeling just because it was, the guy is so iconic. Obviously, the JLA Avengers thing that was done, arguably the most celebrated of the Marvel DC crossovers because George was one of the few prolific artists to pen or to draw both defining Justice League runs, defining Avengers storylines, and who better than to do their crossover where they fight and end up teaming up than the man himself. I believe Kurt Busiek wrote it with him.
Right.
And it's a fantastic piece of art. It's very hard to get to, but if you are a fan of George Perez or you want to be a fan of George Perez, try to find any copies. You can probably find some loose copies in the back issues at your shops, but not for much longer. His art is going to be disappearing. It was a prestige format book when it came out. I believe it was $6 or something like that. And this was in the early 2000s. So, it's already tough. They did a limited 7,000 print run on it recently that all the proceeds, or at least a giant bit of the proceeds, went to George Perez's family. It was very hard to get. I ordered 12 copies. I got 1.
Yeah.
So, I know bigger shops than mine who only got 1 as well. It was a weird bit because it's making killing on the secondary market.
Oh God!
I can't bring myself to sell mine. I can't
hang on to that.
I own all of the issues. I own the hardcover from when it first was released. but it is just a wonderful piece of history. I love rare stuff. Maybe you'll see it in the shop one day, but man, it's too hard.
It's hard to get rid of that, man. That's
for great cool, Perez
dude.
art. Yeah.
I will say I'm not a fan of the story JLA versus Avengers.
It's fine,
but I love like I said, I could just look at the pictures because they're that amazing. But that story is awful. Yeah. Sorry,
and issue 2 or 3 that has like the big splash page, and when you open, I mean, it's just like it's
cool
everywhere. It's beautiful.
Yes.
The Batman Captain America fight. I loved it. You're crazy.
You're bad. It's so awful. You could totally tell they were fanning out on DC.
Yeah.
They made Marvel look like chumps. I'm sorry. They did. Like all the Marvel characters looked bad. They did not come out looking very good.
Well, they're not as powerful in a lot of cases. This is for another show.
What they should do is they should have done real quick. It was like, yeah, their powers work different in the Marvel realm.
Well, they did.
Vice
they did
versa,
say that.
But DC was still whooping up on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Thor just like gets dropped by Superman. Spoilers.
Yeah, but and then it takes like what She-Hulk, Hercules,
and like two others
to like beat up on Superman. Yeah, it is not the greatest story,
but the art again. Yes. The artwork is amazing. Pick it up.
For my money, I don't know that there's anybody cleaner than George Perez.
God no.
His art, his line work, everything he does, it's so crisp. Like I said, there are people who, like I feel like Rags Morales from Identity Crisis. Mm-hmm. He had, maybe he might be borrowing from George's camp a bit. Yeah. They all influence each other. But there's been so few people that all of the standouts, they're standouts for a reason.
Right.
And George is one of those.
Yeah.
I'll be very sad. Hopefully, let's keep John Byrne. I hear John Byrne's not the nicest guy. Maybe to fans, he's cool, but I have not had the pleasure or displeasure of meeting him. I did not get to meet George Perez, but I met Neil Adams a bunch of times. He was really nice to me. He was very nice to your father.
He's got some drawings from
some SIGs and all that too. And we are really, he had been retired for a few years already, whereas Neil was just going,
dying in the chair,
dude. For real,
gangster homie.
But Perez,
he's a gangster too.
He helped turn around DC Comics after he left Marvel. New Teen Titans, Deathstroke, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Wonder Woman. Yeah. He had phenomenal runs on those things. And sir, you will be missed.
It's crazy how his first real published appearance was in Deathlock, and it wasn't even the main story. It was like a little mini satirical cartoon in the back of that book. I can't remember the issue of Deathlock.
I hear stories about his rise and how he's even told no by Neil Adams. Like, sorry, kid, we don't have any spot for you. But it's I wonder if those guys. When the L Boys. Lee, Liefeld, Larson, Lim, all those guys for Image were coming up, man. John Byrne, hated those guys. He talked nothing but serious crap about them. He did not care. And it is interesting. I wonder if those people were being, that's just what it is. The older guys, they try to keep their time in the spotlight a little longer.
Yeah, and I think maybe we need to move past that. It's everyone's got their time to shine. And you're still shining. Why not, help out and help somebody else? So, you know what? It's not for me, but people seem to dig it.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Rob Liefeld had a great episode on Robservations, and it was something about the best rivalry of the 80s, and it had to do with John Byrne and George Perez. It's a great episode. Give it a listen. I know I always talk about Rob, but I love his show. It's rich with comic book history.
Oh, there you go.
A little bit of our comic book history finished up this week in two different
two different facets.
First off, we had the series finale, or maybe season finale. We don't know if they're going to do a second one of Moon Knight.
Right.
I was not a big fan of episodes 1 and 2. I've talked about that a lot. We even skipped talking about episode 5 because it was just we need to really break this down and talk about it as a whole. And I'm going to let my lovely assistant here, my lovely co-host, I'm sorry, you're not my assistant. You are, I don't pay you. So you are my right hand of the devil. What did you think as a whole, now that you've seen it all? Sure. I believe you watched last episode twice. What do you feel?
Because I will say, like most things in life, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back and rewatched the last episode. And I will say this unabashedly. I hated this.
Wow.
I did not see, aside from the costume and the aesthetics, there was not much of a redeeming quality. Don't get me wrong. Cast hits it out of the park. Everyone is doing what they can with the material they've given.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaacs is the man. I feel awful forgetting her name. She played Layla.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm so sorry, but she's great.
Yeah.
Everybody else, awesome. I don't care for the fact that this was basically, it should have just been called Layla Saves Moon Knight, the series.
Okay.
She is like, I get it. You want to create a Scarlet Scarab character, that's fine. But this is a Moon Knight story. And when your not even your sidekick necessarily, but your side character is in there swooping in, saving your avatar, the Khonshu even. We're going to talk spoilers, by the way, so if you haven't watched it, we're going to get into this. Sorry, I just had a lot of problems with it.
Yeah.
They really kind of dumbed down who Moon Knight was. Mark Spector, Stevie, because Stevie in the comic books is this kind of foreboding alpha male almost. Yeah. And they turn him into this kind of quasi-incel dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what was the point of that?
Yeah, they really took the Stephen Grant character in a very different direction than he is in the comics. I think it was a very sweet way to deal with like mental illness and all that. But the biggest issue in there is that we see Mark turn into Stevie when his crazy mom comes there to beat him, and it was like, wait, did you turn into Stevie so that he could take these beatings? But it seems like that's not that's not what they meant to do.
Right.
And so I don't know. Like I think that there was a little bit of a kerfluffle there.
I would say that.
And like what was what?
Yeah. And, getting real quick back to the mental illness part, you could tell the writers don't have a degree of understanding of what dissociative identity disorder is.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to. I don't think they're trying to be offensive, but there's just a lack of understanding on what it is. And I can see it. It's not offensive to me,
sure,
but I can see it being offensive to certain people.
Well, I think that there's inherently an issue there because I don't think we're really trying to talk about a specific disorder. We're talking about Moon Knight's disorder,
sure.
And I know that it is based off of multiple personalities and this and that, but we're seeing it through a supernatural lens.
Sure, right.
So
right.
other things are happening as well.
Yeah.
So like I would
be okay with it if they didn't try to take it so serious. There were certain scenes where they're trying to make it like, this is a hardcore look at what this disorder is. Instead of like, okay, well, there are some, supernatural things afoot.
Yeah.
And it's actually impeding who this guy is, But aside from all those little things I've been talking about, it's just, they didn't wrap it up the way it needed. It just kind of tumbled out the way it ended.
They had a lot to do.
He's like, okay, because, it builds up. The main fight's over. Khonshu beats the alligator or whatever. Yeah. And, then he's like, okay, I'm not going to work for you anymore. Then it flashes to white, and Ethan Hawke's character and Moon Knight are in the psychiatric ward. And it's like, that's how it ends. What?
Did you not see the end credit scene?
Oh, I did.
Okay.
But post-credit is supposed to build to something else, not wrap up your story.
Well,
I shouldn't have to wait to the very end of the credits to go, oh, this is what you meant to do.
I don't think I think it's opening the next door.
Sure.
Now,
what does it say?
I will agree with you that they left us with way too many questions and not nearly enough answers because you're even still not entirely sure what I think that the brilliance of the show is while I'm processing it, as I've said it, and other people smarter than me probably felt the same way. It's that the show's meant to make you feel this way, where you're not really sure what's going on. Like it's making us have schizophrenic episodes.
Makes them make you feel a little disconnected from the narrative.
Yes.
Which, if you watched a David Lynch film, you're going to understand what that is. And I would say people who don't have a grasp on that shouldn't be making movies like that.
I don't know.
Because it is that, it's not like it's, I felt like them making it feel like we were schizophrenic wasn't written into the narrative. I think that was a byproduct of what just happened.
Interesting.
I think it was just bad writing that made it feel like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, and you're very that could be very right. I'm hoping that's not that it's not poor writing, that because honestly I really did enjoy it. I did.
Okay, so I hit with the negatives. Yeah. Hit me with some positives.
I liked adding, the backstory to Stephen Grant, to Mark Spector. That's not a story that I know.
Sure.
It was nice to not have the dad be this abusive piece of crap.
Yeah, they flipped it with the mom.
Yeah, which makes it really sad.
Him and Jean-Luc Picard could hang out.
Yeah, geez. And I didn't like the costume at first. It grew on me. I thought that the effects looked really good. I did not like the flying Moon Knight thing.
Nope, that was dumb.
But Khonshu was fantastic.
Yeah, F. Murray Abraham. Kills it. That's the voice of Khonshu.
Yeah, I thought that the Amet thing kind of filled up, ended pretty quickly, and it made it seem like. Did you get the feeling that maybe they were lovers at one point?
I think I was getting that big time.
Yeah. I didn't need the giant fight. No. It just didn't seem because theoretically we're not seeing that.
We're not. We should have just seen the two people fighting.
Yeah.
Their avatars.
Yeah. We didn't need the monster fight.
We didn't need the monster fight.
Now I thought it looked cool. We just didn't need it. I liked that spoilers, kids, that the Jake Lockley character, it clearly still has business with Khonshu.
Right, because it's at that's the post-credit scene.
Yeah, post-credit scene. Jake Lockley is Spanish, apparently. And he is that third, at least for sure, that third personality that we had not seen.
Yes.
And then I did like the more Warren Ellis, the suit on Khonshu. That was cool.
Nice. Yes.
The Sienkiewicz mental hospital sign.
The homage. I had no problem with the homages.
Yeah, that's true.
They were great. Yeah. It's just, again, I don't think they had a cohesive story, or they did, and they just got lost in the shuffle. I think there's a story there.
Yeah. I
really think there's a good linear story with the added effect of being disconnected from the story. Like, what's happening? I want you, like you said, you feel like Mark Spector or Stephen Grant.
Yeah.
Or even, I guess, Jake to a lesser degree. Because there are points when when he blacks out completely, that's when Jake takes over. I'm assuming that's where they're going with that.
Yeah, because remember in episode, whenever they first are in the psych ward afterlife thing and they're going to the different rooms, Mark goes into one. And opens Steven, and then they see another sarcophagus that's shaking and screaming.
That part was cool.
And I think that I didn't realize that that's Jake at the time.
Right. I didn't either.
Yeah.
Because I was assuming we're going to get him some way else.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's more of one of the dominating personalities.
No.
For Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Cringiest line in the show: "Are you an Egyptian superhero?"
Yeah.
Yes. And then the music plays there.
Whatever. I thought she looked cool though.
Music. She did.
She looked cool, but she also looks a lot like the Falcon.
Girl. That's cool.
Yeah.
See what I'm getting at?
I enjoyed it, but but your point is super valid. I get what you're saying, but I don't think that the problem. I think that their message is the problem, but I don't know. I like the way that it was told. It does feel a little weird. And I guess I can infer some things that then we see, Harrow in the asylum. I think it's inferring that maybe what we saw before with the personalities there is because Mark has been there before.
Right.
So he's just kind of filling that out in his mind.
That does imply that. Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah.
So I don't know, because I guess this wasn't meant to be a series. It was a mini series, correct?
Yeah. It's not meant to have a second season, but I mean.
So if they weren't setting it up for that, why leave it so open ended?
Yeah, I mean, I think I just think that they're not trying to give away all the secrets because they. I mean, there's references to Kang
in there.
Yeah.
So I guess they're setting stuff up for that. Yeah. But that I guess I get it to an extent. But yeah, wasn't for me, and it seemed like something I would really like. It's got elements of Fight Club, Memento, one of my favorite comic book characters. But if I wanted a Scarlet Scarab's show, just make a Scarlet Scarab show. If you want to show this mobile.
Yeah, just give it to us. You know? So yeah, like I didn't think it was great, but I did say I loved it because I just like Moon Knight. I like seeing Moon Knight stuff.
Even though we only get him for 20 minutes.
That's a big knock. It is a big knock. But overall, I enjoyed the series. I would like to watch it again as a whole just to see if it makes more sense as a whole. I'll let you know if that helps because I can't imagine you're going to watch it again.
No,
so,
I'm done with it.
But something I think we can both agree on.
Yes.
We talked about it in the last episode. Your boys went to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and the Multiverse of Madness opening night. It was all right.
It was okay.
It was pretty good. Yeah, if you like Marvel things, it's pretty dope.
You'll dig it.
No, guys, I loved it. Of course, I loved Moon Knight, so why wouldn't I love this? But for different reasons, and these reasons being that this is just a better piece of art.
Of course.
Or a better piece of, a better showcase of a character.
Yeah, it's got the backstory to give it credence. We love know and love these characters. We've been following them through several years and several movies.
Yes.
So it's we're gonna be talking some spoilers.
Of course.
Try not to give all of it away, but
I
do want to talk about the bigger points, like the stuff that that we got so excited for.
Okay. Well, I still want to stay away from certain things.
Okay.
And we'll see if we can. I'd like to leave some surprises for those of you,
right?
Because I got to get surprised. We will spoil everything on the next episode because there are things we must talk about.
Yeah,
but we're gonna give like 75% spoilers today.
Quick, I will say I loved it because it wasn't the movie I was expecting.
Yes,
I did that, and I feel like that's the big divide because there's people who love this movie and then they hate it.
Seeing a lot of
that reason
chatter about that.
Yeah,
about how a lot of people. A lot. Who knows how many? They said it wasn't what they were expecting.
Right. And that's why I enjoyed it. Nope. Kind of just give you the basic real quick. The previews alluded that, obviously Wanda is going to be in the movie. Mm-hmm. I was under the impression she was going to be just an awesome side character that kind of helps Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Maybe comes in at the last minute, helps him out, gives Scarlet scarabs him,
Yeah.
But Sam Raimi... Again, good misdirects, man. Mm-hmm. I loved the use of practical makeup in this movie.
Yes.
Next to the great CGI that they did.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely for Phase 4 going forward, this is the movie you need to watch.
You think?
I think so.
Okay.
This is opening. It's giving us so much. And obviously Marvel's going full steam with this multiverse stuff. Mm-hmm. Obviously we're getting Kang the Conqueror, who instead of a time deity, he's going to be, I guess, a dimension deity. I'm assuming they're going. Yeah. That's kind of where they're going to be going with this. Yeah. So I think this is the movie for Phase 4. That's the door. This is the door.
Okay.
Again, Elizabeth Olsen almost making me cry 5 times in this movie.
She kills it. Knocks it out of the park.
What else? What were some of the positives for you?
The thing was full of positives. To your point about Elizabeth Olsen, yeah, I thought it was going to be one of those things that like, hey, I'm going to come see you, Wanda. Yeah. I know what happened, but like, he even says it, like, if you want to get back on the lunchbox, like, give me a hand with this.
Yeah.
And, it was an interesting thing to have her be far more involved in the story than I thought she was going to be. The addition of America Chavez is not as annoying as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be annoying. The only thing that bothers me is that they really changed her powers like a lot, where she can open these multiversal portals, but when she does it, like I don't even mind that, but when she does it, it's like a star. And I don't know, it just does not hit home for me at all.
Right.
It doesn't. I don't know. It just feels a little too weird.
Yeah.
It feels too. It feels comic booky in the negative, like in
the cheesy way.
Yes. But the actress is fine. She does a very.
Great.
She's not full on Anakin Skywalkering this thing with pod racing. Like she is not distracting at all.
No, God no.
Man, I love Rachel McAdams.
She's great.
We had an entire Rachel McAdams show before,
we did.
So we're here for her. I liked how we started seeing this in Spider-Man: No Way Home, where we're seeing definitely a much warmer side of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Even though he's still a pompous jerk, we're seeing like what matters to him and like why he should care about certain things. The biggest joy for me, I think, might have been, and this is from the trailers, but I'm not going to fill out the cast, was the Illuminati.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that on the next episode because I really do want to spend some time on there.
Do some deep dive on that.
But what we can say from the trailers, because it was out there, it was awesome to see Haley Atwell as Captain Carter.
Yeah.
You know?
Good to have her back.
She was fantastic. And I'm just gonna say this because I was right from the beginning, and I don't care.
Well, everyone, we saw Tom Cruise.
Everybody saw him.
I mean, he was in the movie. If you saw it, we got Superior Iron Man, like everyone speculated.
Yep. Yeah. it was just the most ridiculous spec I have seen in this time that spec has been hot.
Yeah.
Because it really changed the outcome of this book. But guys, those of you who are pushing it, like truthfully thinking that this was going to be the thing, it was clearly a black person in this makeup or, in this suit.
Costume, yeah.
It's clearly a Captain Marvel signature. I'll let you guys figure out who it was. But it was great to have some vindication there because I got in some nice, friendly, heated debates here in the shop, which I love with you guys when you guys come in.
Yeah.
I love talking comics and comic book movies. But I won't mention anything else other than it only took them one movie to do Professor Xavier better than he had ever been done in 9 or whatever previous outings for Fox. So the movie is a great success in my opinion.
Yep.
Where I disagree with you is I felt like this was like we're not doing any more magic stuff for a while.
Oh.
I really got that feeling.
Even with the post-credit scene?
We ended with the Wanda story, maybe.
Yes, I think it's done.
It had a very final moment.
It did.
We still have stuff to do with Vision and everything
Absolutely.
like that.
But I think that's on the back burner.
Yeah, the Wanda thing, like I think Wanda could. Okay, here's my theory, guys.
Yeah.
Without spoiling everything, since again it's just opening weekend. When the movie ends, you get the sense that Wanda is going to be gone for a long time.
Yes.
Okay, so man, I would love for them to do the Children's Crusade storyline.
Oh.
Because the Children's Crusade storyline has to do with Wanda kind of making herself forget that she's been the Scarlet Witch. So she's kind of like hexing herself to start fresh. She ends up getting taken by Doctor Doom, but he wants to marry her because he wants to try to control the chaos magic. But Tommy and Billy, they've been running around with the Young Avengers. They think that their mom is dead after the events of House of M. So they don't even think to go look for her. Well, they start to feel her and they go look for her and they kind of remind her of who she is. So, I mean, it's already setting itself up to do something like that.
I didn't even think about that.
She could be gone for 3-4 years and then show up in a cool way.
Like in a cool post-credit scene.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like if we could get the Young Avengers first.
Yes.
And then like a movie later, we get the reveal.
5 years later.
Yeah. Wanda's living a life. Living her best life, not as Wanda. That's I'd kill for that. Homie.
I'm into it, and I feel like that's the track that we're on right now. Yeah. Marvel wants to focus on the next group and start getting that younger audience. Not that Elizabeth Olsen is. I think she's younger than we are.
She is way younger than us.
So she's got a lot of stuff that she can still do. Hopefully she doesn't. Hopefully she sticks with it. I think she would.
Oh yeah. I think she enjoys playing the role.
I think so too. Yeah. Because I mean,
she kills it. She kills it in there.
Who has more of a backstory? That doesn't have their own film.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Besides the Hulk. Well, no, he does.
He's got several films, I
mean, I was talking about like, in the MCU, but he does. I always
forget
the Ed Norton one.
I always forget it. Yeah. There's a lot of heart. There's a lot of horror.
They pushed that PG-13.
This was Marvel's darkest film
absolutely
to date. There is some jump scares. There is some creepy looking stuff. There's a straight up like Michael Myers chase scene at one point where it's intense.
It's pretty intense.
And just the level of magic that we're using is just on. Thank you, Marvel.
Yes,
Feige and
this
crew.
This is good.
This is a crazy amount of magic, and for as much as we like those Harry Potter films, there's not enough magic in 8 movies. This thing is loaded. Best fight in the movie for my money is a fight with music.
Yeah, very interesting.
Where these magicians are using the song notes from instruments as weapons.
Yeah.
It sounds ridiculous, but God,
literally
it worked
pulling
so
notes off the sheet
good.
paper.
It looks so good.
When I saw that, I was like, they're not going to do this, but it makes sense.
Yes.
Because they do say that, in the first Doctor Strange, you have magic has to be spoken. It's an incantation. And music is a form of that.
Yes.
So using symbols and sound to fight, and the notes they were using was funny. So effing funny and brilliant. Awesome.
So
killing it, Sam Raimi.
It was hard. Hard to find anything that I disliked. The major things I disliked. Again, referencing the MCU as Earth 616.
Oh, God, that's irritating.
Yeah, they straight up say that the MCU, and I think they said something similar in Spider-Man 2.
I think they did.
I think, what's his face, Mysterio talks about talks about the multiverse, calls it Earth 616.
Yeah, which is not okay.
Because the comics is Earth. The Earth is Earth 616.
Main Marvel Universe
comic books. We have all of these other designations. Like, why? Because if you say that, then you're saying, oh, then this is completely comic book accurate. What it is not.
It's not.
And that's a big selling point for me to other people when I try to change their opinions on comics versus movies. But if you're blatantly saying that this is the one designated to the comics, you've messed up, guys. Stop doing it.
You literally could have picked any number and would have been okay.
It'll be cool if they retcon it with Kang and that he made people, he's hiding here because people think he's in 616, but he's hiding here. I could be into that.
I could be into
that.
Okay.
That'd be an easy way to fix it.
That easy fix.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with you.
And there is a post or mid-credit scene. I can't remember. I think it's the mid-credit scene that introduces a character and it's bad. It looks bad. It doesn't hit. It looks even so. It even looks
rushed.
It even looks janky.
Yeah,
like
it's
this.
rushed. Yeah.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
It's a very
so
poor introduction for a character that should be very significant.
Yes.
I will say that. So if you've got to pee after the credits start
you're
going,
not gonna miss much.
No, watch it, but you're gonna miss a reveal. But it is somewhat bothersome.
It very much so.
Yeah, I didn't like that part.
I didn't either, man. And then the very the last credit scene was like, well, okay. It was just a funny throwaway thing.
I liked it. Yeah. I like that more in essence.
Sure.
And one of the great things, I don't even want to ruin that because that was a nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
Even earlier in the movie too. So, if you're a Sam Raimi fan, this was an excellent Sam Raimi movie, and it was good because you're seeing certain things. Like I said, there was definitely a horror bend to this film. And it was done so well, it still felt like a Marvel movie. And then you saw some of these things, and it wasn't that it distracted you or pulled you out of it. It was that you're like, oh yeah, this is a Sam Raimi movie.
Yeah.
Like it's got Sam Raimi elements
absolutely.
Far more than Spider-Man ever could.
Yeah, very true.
This lends itself to be a tad darker. And I would be totally... I saw a fun quote where Sam Raimi said something to the effect, let me show these kids how you direct a superhero movie.
There you go.
And I was like, good for you, Sam.
That's
good
right.
for you.
That's right.
Eric and I were talking earlier. And a lot of people had mixed reviews about the film. And it's like, okay, people are getting comic book fatigue. It's going to happen. I'm surprised it took this long.
Yeah, for sure.
But here's the issue I have, and maybe you can talk about this a little bit more. The people you said at work, they were saying it wasn't what they expected.
Right.
So a big problem that I hear from a lot of people is like, oh, comic movies are all the same.
Right.
They're all the same.
Yes.
And blah, blah, blah. And yes, there is a formula to them, and it works.
Yeah.
And the way it works is that they still, even though A plus B is going to equal C, it's the plus signs that they do different things are that really catch us.
Yeah.
So if Marvel does the exact same things, you're upset.
Right.
If they do something different, you're upset.
Right.
So this is to the haters out there. Just chill out. Yeah. You don't have to like everything. I know. I'm a fanboy. They've got my money. I've literally been paying to watch these movies. I probably could get them for free because I know people, but I'm voting with my money. All right. And it's very weird to me that, there is just that the fringe is starting to get a little bit wider, but of those people who are just like not happy with Marvel movies
I think that's
and shows.
Any form of entertainment media, there's going to be a breaking point. The bubble's going to burst.
Yeah.
But it's always it's that same thing where Yeah, like let's equate it to music. A band keeps putting out music you like, but you're like, oh, it sounds the same. It's always gonna sound like the Ramones, you know. But then they switch it up and do like an acoustic song or try to do something different, and you're like, well, what is that? Why don't they sound like the Ramones anymore?
Yeah,
like you gotta evolve with it or evolve out of it.
Yes,
that's all we can ask, you know. And I'm okay with people criticizing things, but to just say, I didn't like it because it wasn't what I expected. Well, can you expound on that?
Yeah.
And instead of just like, well, I didn't like it because it wasn't the formula.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, we are, you know, this whole phase is rudderless on the masses. Like, we don't know.
We don't know.
Is it going to be Kang? Because we know Kang is going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a throwaway there? Or is it going to be somebody else? We don't know what the end game is for this. We knew after Avengers 1. Yeah. We knew after Avengers 1. Thanos. We're trying to get to Thanos.
Yes.
You know, this is our plan. As a fan base, we don't know where this is going, and I kind of like that because they just keep finding ways to surprise me.
Yep.
Erik is feeling what the movie people are feeling for Moon Knight, but Eric's points are very valid. Like he can at least explain to me.
Tell me why you didn't like it instead of like, man, it's too different. Okay, and you know, again, criticism is healthy and it's terrific, but you can't criticize something without, you know, backing it with some sort of knowledge, you know. Yeah. You know, I could at least say, okay, it wasn't for me because it was too scary. I'd be okay with that. Yeah. If you even said that. Dude.
Doctor Strange it had some good creep factors. Oh, God, just the magic fights. Like, I really want to watch it again. It's one of the only ones
I wouldn't take kids to.
Yeah.
I would think twice about it, you know?
And you couldn't take them to Moon Knight either.
Yeah.
So it's like... You know,
if you wanted them to nap, take them to
take them to Moon Knight, yeah. I don't know. I just feel like people, Marvel has to take chances and they have to do things different. They have to keep remixing the formula.
Right.
Okay? You know, we know in the Marvel shows, we've already figured it out. Episodes 1 and 2 are always deep setup. Episode 3, something happens. Mm-hmm. Episode 4, a turn happens. Yep. 5, 6. That's just kind of, it's their new formula. For the movies, you know, they had all of the same beats, but they're just giving us more action.
Different. Yeah.
Yeah, they're giving us I mean, this movie, right off the bat, there's action.
Yeah, you're getting it.
And then 15 minutes later, there's a giant fight in Carmitage. Okay? And we have a fight with the Illuminati.
Yeah.
And we still have to have our end fight. Like, there's action galore. The lore works. The biggest problem is another big problem is they minimalize the Book of Vishanti.
Oh, God, yeah. There's this MacGuffin.
Yeah, it's a straight MacGuffin, and it's not cool.
And you get a map to the MacGuffin. It really, and that's a big part of the comics, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Vishanti.
Okay.
The Darkhold itself, it seemed like they might have, you know, gotten rid of the Darkhold, too. I don't know.
Yeah. But, I don't know. That was the only other issue I had with it, too, was like they minimalized this piece of comic book lore that is very treasured, you know?
Yeah.
So, but no, we'll take a deeper dive on the next show. I'm so excited to talk about it.
Because I definitely want to talk, we're going to talk serious spoilers on the next one because the Illuminati miniseries is my favorite comic book miniseries from Marvel, and I have so much more to say about the Illuminati, but I want to give you guys another weekend to try to watch it before we talk full spoilers. Erik, you have anything else for us today?
Yeah. Well, you know, speaking of Illuminati, we do a deep dive on that comic book on this channel. So go back and look for it.
Yeah, we'll try to get you I'll try to find the episode number and put it in the show notes below.
Just type in REC Illuminati.
Yeah, Illuminatus.
And be Illuminati, because I am.
Oh my gosh, always. Hey. If you like what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button. Comment below. Let us know if you liked Moon Knight or didn't. How awesome was Doctor Strange? Yeah, try to explain it better to Erik than I did because I really was just saying all the cool things about it, and I might not have the best argument, so I'm going to need some help below. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, so you know when we have new episodes coming out. And Erik, do you have any other final thoughts for us today?
Just you know, I'm really excited to do a deep dive on this.
Oh yeah,
Doctor Strange.
Me too.
So go out there, watch it. And then come sit with us on the next episode.
Yeah, we
got a lot to say about this.
We'll open up there because I really want to stay. I really want to talk more of the spoilers, but I do want you
This is
guys
our
to
first
enjoy
impressions
it.
here,
Yes,
so.
I do want you guys to enjoy it because there were things that happened that did not get spoiled for me and that I got to enjoy.
Yes.
So I don't think I've spoiled any of those things for you guys.
Stuff everyone.
So I hope that you guys like it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. I've been your host, Roman Chavez.
I'm still Erik Icarus.
We will catch you on the next podcast.